Creating structure to gain control. Starring Shelter Dog Pixie. Alright, so starting off here, I am going to be looking for some eye contact as well as a sit. So I'm going to be asking for a behavior. And I'm going to reinforce with some kibble. In this case, I'm using kibble mixed with some treats. And she sits, and I reinforce for a sit. I'm going to show you, so I'm going to be reinforcing her a lot for holding position in her kennel. I want her to understand that just because the kennel door is open doesn't mean she's going to rush through it. So you'll be seeing me work a lot of thresholds with her. Also, if I put the harness on, doesn't mean we're leaving yet. So I'm also going to do some desensitizing with the harness. So I just put it on, reinforce her for sitting and holding position, and then I'm going to snap the harness on. And I'll do the same thing after I snap the harness. You'll see after I put it on, she'll want to kind of scooch out on me. And I gotta stop her, and then okay, so here we go. We're gonna reinforce again. She's got the harness on, doesn't mean we're leaving just yet. I want her to control her impulses. Okay, now I'm gonna snap on the leash. So I'm gonna go through the same process after snapping on leash. You'll see she'll try to go out. I'm gonna block her with my body. Now obviously you wanna make this easy on yourself. I got the door pretty wide open so you can use the camera. So you wanna make it so that maybe the door will be closed a little bit more. Or the door might be completely closed. And that's probably the safest way to start if you're not used to doing this. So you would put the leash on, ask for a nice behavior, and maybe you would click the door partway open and pay her for sitting. Okay, here we go. I'm going to create, this is kind of some arbitrary just mats I put on the floor. So they mean nothing to Pixie at this point in time. But I'm going to put some value into them. Now, by putting value into these environmental cues, as I maybe want to call it, it's going to add structure to Pixie's walk. So she's going to, there's some rules. She's like, every time I go to this mat, he's going to maybe give me a piece of food. So it helps with some structure. Okay, now I'm going to be going up to the doorway to head out the doorway. Now, Pixie's used to the doorway opening for her, so I can see that she's motivated to go out the door. So this is like, alright, this is a training opportunity for me. Now, what happens? This is a real-life situation. Someone comes in with another dog. So let's watch my footwork here. So I step to the side. So instead of pulling back, I move the dog to a side, to an open space that I know is safe, and she follows me, trying to stay relaxed and just kind of walk her out of the situation. Okay, let's go back again. So I'm going to come back, I approach again. So okay, I'm going to have her sit. I'm going to pay her for sitting at the doorway. Good job, Pixie. So I'm going to put a lot of money into the bank here. Now, right now, she's got a lot of money going out that doorway. She has gotten, just kind of go through that doorway. When the doorway opens, she goes through. Has nothing to do with whether we ask her to go through or not. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to really pay her for paying attention and paying attention to me and being in my space. And what I want her to understand is that if she goes through, she can go through, but I'm not coming with her. And you'll see I'll do this a few times. Now, I didn't put them all onto this video, but it took probably about 10 or 12 times of me doing this. And what you'll see here is that she will, so here we go, I open the door, and she showed some impulse control. And I'm going to pay her for that. Good job, Pixie. And here we go again, open the door. Nothing. Okay. So the key to this is that when we open the door, we want to give a very clear signal that we are going to lead the way on out there. She shows some impulse control again. This is where I get paid. This is worth it. Alright. Okay, here we go. We're going to do the same concept with the outdoor gate. She's been reinforced going for a walk by going through the gate. And, well, reinforced by the environment itself, allowed to go sniff and do dog stuff. So we're going to ask and change the reinforcement point and have her look to us for direction to go through this gate instead. So let's just watch this.
Hey, how you doing? Good girl. Good girl. Yeah. Good girl right here. Good girl. Sit. Nice. Sit. Good girl.
When we add more structure and predictability to the dog's environment, what we help to do with the dogs, we help to reduce frustration.
Hey, how you
A lot of
doing?
frustration behaviors include biting leashes, which is what Pixie's been doing a lot, and just dealing with restraint. So in a shelter environment, we're dealing with dogs that are contained
Girl.
and are dealing with some restraints, whether they're behind a fence or on a leash, in order to keep them safe. Now, this can become very frustrating for the dog. And so what we want to try and do is try to create some predictability, so that the dog kind of understands what they need to do, and they don't feel like they need to act out. So as I get Pixie out here, I'm gonna do a little leash training session with her right off the bat. I'm not concerned about 100% focus. She can go sniff stuff, but I'm also not gonna hold tension in the leash. So you'll see me, she'll pull the leash tight, I'm gonna release tension, and when she looks to me and she connects with me, I'm gonna say, good dog. I'm gonna move away from her space and encourage her to come back to my space and give her some food. So what I'm doing there is I'm reinforcing her giving into that pressure on the leash. And I'm reinforcing her not by playing tug with her with a leash, but I'm doing it in a different way, which is with a little bit of food in my hand. I'm also doing it with movement away from maybe a potential situation that is causing frustration. So if there's maybe a dog approaching us, that can create frustration. So she wants to go resolve that conflict that maybe she has in her mind. So when I first heard that she was playing tugging on the leash, I was actually excited because it was an activity that involved the handler. So if you are comfortable, you can play tug with a dog. And that's I think the important thing is you control the game of tug, and that you're comfortable doing so. So if you do play tug with Pixie, she likes it. So I don't expect you necessarily to do all these things I just did. This is about a 20 minutes that I was working with Pixie. I kind of cut it down to a little bit shorter clip here. But these are some ideas and some ways to add some structure to our interactions with Pixie, and helps just create a more predictable events, which just helps her feel more secure in herself and what's expected of her, and just builds her confidence, and like I said, reduces those frustration behaviors such as lunging on a leash and tugging the leash and all those frustration behaviors. Prevention is definitely the name of the game. If we can, we want to prevent the rehearsal of unwanted behaviors. So please ask me if you have any questions, and have fun working with Pixie.